Jake just called. She opened and closed her door of her driver's door. She's pulling out now. I'm videotaping. Don't worry. Not missing a thing, little Miss Smartass. That is the 132 video that I'm playing right now. The woman who lives in Unit 132 downstairs was sitting in her SUV, waiting for the very second that I stepped into my living room to start her engine, and then she sat there in her driver's seat scrolling through her cell phone for a good 10 minutes. And I've been sitting here on my couch in the second floor apartment here where I've been alone all day since I took Jake to the library. And that's all she's doing is falsifying evidence, saying that she's having contact with me or that I'm her. I've never stepped foot in Unit 132 downstairs, and neither has Jacob. I don't know that woman or any of her visitors. That's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Jake and I've never stepped foot in any other residence on this street, but all she's doing is falsifying audio. Somebody probably sent her a text message to give her a cue. They're all surveilling me and Jake doing audio voiceovers and stuff, saying that I'm sitting in their living room staying drunk all day and stuff, which I've never done. I've never consumed any alcoholic beverages on East Boulevard Street. I've consumed a total of 3 alcoholic beverages in the last 12 months, none of which I ever consumed on East Boulevard Street. So that's all it is. A bunch of straight trash niggers on drugs that stay drunk to sit back lying so they can get money for a jackass with a badge that's lying and falsifying a case to say all these things about me and my son so they can all get paid. My guess is that their expenses are being paid, that they're saying they pay expenses for me and Jake, and that Jake and I sleep in their apartments, that nobody sleeps in this apartment upstairs. And that's not true. Jake and I have never stepped foot in any other building or dwelling on East Boulevard Street except for this apartment on the second floor at 130.5 East Boulevard. I wouldn't go down there and jerk her cell phone out of her hand. I'd go down there with a shotgun and put it up to her temple, and I mean, if she moved, I'd blow her brains out. That's how I would deal with the little cell phone game she's playing. But it's all admissible because she was sitting in her SUV waiting for the very second that I stepped from the hall on the second floor here into the living room, and somebody sent her a text message or something and said, go. As soon as I stepped into the living room, she turned on her engine and sat there and started scrolling through whatever she was scrolling through. She did that for about 10 minutes. I filmed her for 10 minutes, and Jacob called me and asked me where I was, and I told him I'd be over there just to go wait for me over at the pizza place. While I was talking to Jake, she opened and closed her driver's door to make it sound like she had contact with me, and she didn't. I've been sitting up here in this apartment, and it's all falsified audio. She doesn't know anything about me or Jake. There's no reason for anybody to contact that woman or anybody that visits her apartment about me and my son. She's never had anything to do with me and Jake. She's never spent a dime on us. She didn't interact with us. She's never spoken to me and my son or stepped anywhere near us. Since all this is a bunch of lies and falsified audio monitoring, falsified testimony, why would you call somebody who has no contact with me and my son and tell them things about me and my son or take testimony from them when they don't have anything to do with me and my son? Why wouldn't you just call me? Right? Because she's willing to lie for you? Maybe that's why. Maybe she didn't mind a little kickback so she can have her some money so you can get your little kickback too? How's that working for you, asshole? Yeah. I got it all on video. I'm going to go downstairs and make my statement of fact. Do not consent to search or surveillance, monitoring, or supervision. I've had no contact with anyone on East Boulevard Street today at all, except for my son Jacob, who I took to the library at 9:30 this morning. And I've been upstairs in this apartment at 130.5 East Boulevard alone all day. And I've never had any contact with a woman who lives in Unit 132 who drives a blue SUV, or stepped foot in her apartment or in her vehicle, or had any contact with any of her visitors. Now, let me see. I've got that on audio, and I'm videotaping myself now. I wonder if that's going to make it to the administrative record, because I got it on YouTube, and let's see what's going to happen then. When I walk in with these videos, and you're doing audio monitoring saying this is all legal, and my statements of fact are not included on the record. They completely destroy the credibility of your informants and the jackass with a badge that they're sucking a dick of. Can you say prejudice case? Yeah. Bunch of fucking niggers is what they are. Don't want to work for a living. Can't stand people that do. I never consented to any of this. None of these people have a thing to do with me or my son. I'm Jeanette Spangler. I just opened my door to come downstairs from my second floor apartment where I have been since about 11:30 this morning. I'm coming down the stairs now. I have been alone in my second floor apartment at 130 East Boulevard Street since I took my son Jacob to the library this morning at 9:30. I have not made or received any phone calls except for one call from my son. I have not stepped foot into the blue SUV that is driven by the woman who lives in Unit 132 downstairs below my unit. I do not know that woman. She has never had any contact with me. She waited in her vehicle, sitting in her driver's seat, until the very second that I stepped into my living room from the hall, and she started up her engine and started scrolling through her phone. I videotaped it from my second floor window, and after she did that for 10 minutes, then she opened and closed her driver door. I don't know that woman. I've never spoken to her. I've never stepped foot in Unit 132 or any other dwelling on East Boulevard Street except for 130 East Boulevard Street on the second floor here, where my son Jacob and I live alone since our dear housemate Roland took off. I do not consent to searches, surveillance, monitoring, or supervision. I am videotaping it. I will be posting it publicly on YouTube. If it's not included on the administrative records, then guess what? And you're conducting a prejudice investigation, not including all the facts. Nobody has ever supervised me and my son or spent a dime on me and my son but me. I have never given anyone permission to act as my representative and accept search warrants. Nobody's ever informed me of any searches or monitoring. I've never consented to it. Nobody's ever supervised me and my son but me. And my son and I have never stepped foot in any other building or dwelling on East Boulevard Street except for our second floor apartment at 130 East Boulevard Street. I have never done drugs a day in my life. I've never trafficked them. I'm not a prostitute. I've consumed 3 alcoholic beverages in 12 months, none of which I've ever consumed on East Boulevard Street. Graduated from Caddo Parish Magnet High School with an A average and Randolph-Macon Women's College class of 92. I do not know anyone on this street except for my son Jacob. My son Jacob and I have never interacted with the woman downstairs or her visitors, or Pat and Ronnie who live on the second floor next door, their visitors, or Fred and Shante who live on the ground floor next door since, let me see, I've never spoken to Fred, Pat, and Ronnie ever. I banned Shante from ever coming to our apartment in January 2014 because she's a prostitute and a drug addict and a snitch for the Shreveport Narcotics Squad, and tried to solicit me and my son, both of us. I'm not a pedophile. I've never molested children. I've never been invited to testify. I begged the cops to tell me, give me the opportunity to testify on my behalf. I've never refused to participate or testify. I've never been given the opportunity to do so. And I have not made or received any phone calls today. I do not have any messages that I scroll through. Nobody's ever delivered any type of documents to me. And I've seen this same routine over and over again where I'm ambushed by snitches that scroll through some type of document and just sit there and hide and don't have any contact with me at all, and I have no knowledge of what they're scrolling through. And that's just what happened just now. Leaving on our driveway. Left on the East Boulevard Street. I hate these people so much I can't stand it.